from our history, any presidential candidate or any party that has enjoyed the support of a sitting head of state has survived even dissent from within. The Jubilee Party is one of those parties. And is it therefore very clear that now that President William Ruto appears more concerned about the survival of ODM than UDA, that then again that would mean that this party will survive and become more consequential in 2027?
Thank you very much, and very good morning to all. I just want to say that I want to say that ODM party is one of the biggest party and maybe longest surviving party in Kenya, apart from KANU, and a party currently that has structures all the way to the grassroots. That one, give it to them. And even as I still give my condolences to the Odinga's family, we saw people from different regions, all of them going to Bondo for the funeral, and from the reception that when the body of the former Prime Minister was brought to the Nyayo Stadium, Kasarani Nyayo Stadium, and then to Bondo. So this is a party that might not only, though the leadership has basically been from the Odinga's family, they're also structures and grassroots. And I had a chance to work with ODM when we were in Azimio. And that is the only party that when we went to the regions, we found even a chairman of the party at the grassroots. So at the ward level, there's a chairman. And so the structures are well spelled out. And so even though the top may be a bit shaken and people may have different opinions, we have stronger grassroots. And so it might not be easy to say that ODM can really go down. There can be a bit of splitting, a bit of shaking a bit. And as we saw it at the funeral, I would not have expected the president to mention UDA anywhere, because anyway, this was a former, this was a party leader of ODM party that has, we were bidding farewell. And secondly, even as the people who were addressing, who are called to address, you saw the structures of the party. That is why somebody like Junet did not address the mourners as part of the leadership of the party, because he was not part of the leadership, but he was given a chance to, as a leader in the National Assembly. So it was clear when they called Simba Arati, when they called the governor of Mombasa, and so there were clear structures, and that is why Wanga, as the chair, is the one who conducted that section. And apart from maybe Sifuna, who came in and said, let's not say what Baba didn't say. And even all this, even when we are writing about what did Baba say, the bigger question is when and where. Remember, we saw very many people saying, I met with Baba in Serena. And so Sifuna came and said, you know, it's about the meeting that we had. And everybody heard what Baba said. And even for Baba, if he had mentioned that ODM will have or fill the presidential candidate 2027, so who was that person? Was it himself? Or did he see himself joining with the President William Ruto and them having a coalition? And so then I will interpret what was said, I think, by the president and somebody else who said, it was the governor of Mombasa, who said we shall either form the government or we will be in the government. That tells you there must have been talks about coalitions. And what do I see?
The president himself.
There was the president, and then there was also the governor of Mombasa. So the president repeated what was said by the governor of Mombasa because I was there. And so my prediction is 2027, ODM will still be there. ODM most likely will work with the government. There are a few people who might not be comfortable with that. So some might decide to leave the party. So whether it's Kenya Moja, there was Kenya Kwanza before, these are political slogans that different groups form to suit the, I would say, a time or the agenda that they want to bring forward. Remember, in this Kenya Moja coalition, there are ODM members and some also members who are maybe from the UDA party and different parties. And I also foresee maybe the likes of the Sifuna, the likes of Kina Babu, Owino, and many other, likes of maybe people like Dendo Nyoro coming up with their own political parties. So it's not just about ODM. Will
UDA survive this affinity that the president appears to have with ODM?
Well,
liking, and he appears more interested in the survival of ODM than UDA.
That's, I would not say the president is interested more in the survival of ODM, but because when he spoke, relatively, it was about ODM.
He talked about himself and ODM,
exactly.
not UDA.
There was no way he would have talked about UDA in a state funeral of a former ODM person. Number two, If you look at the arrangement that were being done before, even before the passing on of the former Prime Minister, so the issue of the founder members of ODM, they were supposed to have a meeting, and the bigger meeting, I think, that was supposed to be done. I'm still hoping that it's going to be done to celebrate ODM 20 years. And maybe they might change a little bit just to celebrate maybe the life of Baba and then the ODM in 20 years. Who are the founder members of ODM? We have the former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We have William Samoei Ruto. And now we have, I think Kalonzo was also there. Kalonzo was also there, but I think he had declined going for the 20 years celebration. And so even him speaking as part of a founder member of ODM, we would say it would be sad for him to see a party that they formed going down. Though this party also came in and became opposition, it's also a party that has also helped him as a president when they came in and formed the broad-based government. So I would say, yes, there is going to be shake-up, but it's not going to be easy for that party just to go.
Yes.
And because if you look at when we came into Parliament 2013, yes, we came with TNA. But by 2017, we had Jubilee. 2022, we had Jubilee. But have we ever had grassroots structures? No. And I think the same thing now with UDA. That is where the weakest point is with this, I would say, the newer political parties, where the leadership is only at the national level.
Yes.
There is purportedly a structure that even forms NDC, maybe the county level, but these are selected, picked people, where you find that in ODM, there's actually actual grassroots elections where they get their leaders.
But the national level is still appointive. They still don't have elections.
But you see, at the national level, for ODM, unlike other parties,
yes,
these are people who have been elected from the grassroots coming up to the national level.
Okay.
These are the smaller, not even smaller parties, I would say newer parties, like Jubilee even today, even UDA. They start from top, then going down. And so you find people who are much more elected by party leadership rather than the grassroots. And that's a mistake we did. And I would want to say maybe with Jubilee or even with Jubilee 22, when we're doing the election for 2022. Because you can go and do a very big meeting in Murang'a town, but who are your foot soldiers?
Okay.
Who have you left to talk about your party? And I think that's the biggest challenge we have. And ODM, I see it standing.
ODM may stand. There's a lot of dissent, and probably ODM will still be consequential come 2027. But in the interim, we still have about 20